So welcome to this session. So from Dr. Choi, I know that all of you are master student, right? Okay. So your class time usually start at 6. Is that the case? 6:30. Oh, okay. So today, in fact, it start earlier. Okay. Any one of you been to Hong Kong and Hong Kong Sports Institute? Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. So today, I'm very happy to hear and to share what I'm doing in Hong Kong Sports Institute. Okay, Hong Kong Sports Institute. I will give a more introduction about it. So before the start of this session, I would like to have some more interaction with you all students. Okay, so I will have a question, and throughout my sharing and this session, I will maybe have some question to ask you, and you are more than happy to share with us here. And also, I have some souvenir from Hong Kong Sports Institute for you all. Okay, so let's see. Anyone can get some of these souvenirs. Okay, so the topic is about advances in sports science and technology for Hong Kong elite athletes. So my first question, and I would like to interact with you, is what sports science and technology support are Hong Kong elite athletes receiving? Anything you can think of, and please feel free to raise your hand and to give your opinions. So basically, it's what is sports science, or what you expected? You're going to search on Google or anyone? Any idea?
Chinese to interact with you.
Sure. Yeah, please.
You may use Chinese or Mandarin. Yeah. Just feel free.
Because for the master course, usually we will conduct in English, but anyway, we are free to chat in any language if you want. As long as Dr. Choi understands, it's okay. I will understand it. Anything? Okay. Sports science and technology, what do you think, or what you expected for the athletes? I heard some of you, or most of you, are athletes, right? We have fencer, we have athletics, swimmers. Any support in terms of the sports science you've been receiving? Any?
I don't know what science or technology used in Hong Kong, but because I'm used to be a swimmer, I just know in our previous swimming team, the coach used some 电子轨道
OK， 记得。
在水里面。
水里面。
对 and swimmer follow the 电子轨道 and keep the same speed to swim to training. I just know this, but I don't know what science and technology using in Hong Kong.
Okay. I will have some sharing about that. That one, by what you saying, I think it's more like a pacing, right? Yeah. 他看你游泳的时候的时间嘛，你是要跟着他游，就是这个 pace 嘛，是吗？是这个目的是吗？
对。
好，很好，谢谢你。Which one do you like? Which souvenir do you like? File, bag, elastic band. Okay. So you have to get over there. Sorry, and maybe Dr. Choi can help. Okay, thank you. Anyone else? So he is very good examples mentioned about the sports science and also more like technological support to athletes during the training. Anything else? Yes?
老师，我会说中文。
可以。
我是篮球项目，然后有一些像那个高速服的那个摄影机，就是捕捉一下你的投篮的一些动作，一些技术动作。
OK。
然后有一些赛后的话，那是录像，就是用一些录像手段去分析一下比赛的一些情况。
都是你们篮球正玩的技术吗？
对，我觉得会有吧。 就是可能其他项目也会带一些。
OK， 没关系，就是因为香港体院我们没有太多，我们没有球类篮球这个项目，所以我们没有特别的在里面跟你分享，但是我们都有一点差不多的，我可以再跟你们 share。OK，any souvenir you like?
Yeah.
Which one? This one? This one? Okay, I'll pass the dollar shot. Okay, so the next one. How are these science and technology applied in their training? So what the students shared is with a pacing system under the water. So when he swim, especially because swimming, so you usually very hard to hear from the coaches, right? So that's why this is one of the things that we are developing in Hong Kong SI, in fact. So which is a very good system for the athletes training. So how can these science and technology applied in their training? So from that student sharing, so he shared more basketball specific technologies, right? Analyzing through the video, capturing their techniques and also their tactics maybe. Okay, so anything about what do you think the science and technologies applied in the training? Basically, we need to apply it, otherwise it's just a technology and no use for the sports. Anything from the swimmer? Did you receive any sports science support? I don't know. Nutrition or psychology? Okay, good. So I heard that you are a swimmer, right? So previously in the laboratory for the VO2 test, so you are going through the running or cycling exercise?
I used to have one in cycling.
Okay. Alright.
Some people said because swimming is not really cycling or really running,
yes.
So it's not really matters to our performance in the game. And most important is swimming, maybe technique.
Okay, good. So because I know that some of for swimmers, we may have a swim flume, like a treadmill. So you can swim in the same place, but because of the current, so you can swimming still in the flume. So that some of the laboratory, so the swimmers can swim in the swim flume, and then with also the mask in order to collect their breathing, so that the VO2 could be conducted with the swimmer in the swim flume. Okay, anyway, which one do you want? Anything. Okay, please. Okay, good. So this evening I will spend the coming time to sharing about the foundation, what Hong Kong Sports Institute is doing, HKSI, and also the physical science behind SI, and also the mechanical science and the intelligence and feel for the future. So I'm going to go through them with you. Okay, wow, looks like me, right? So my name is Daniel. So I studied in the Chinese University of Hong Kong. So I graduated with a Bachelor of Education and a Master of Education, a PhD, and then an EMBA recently. And I was a full-time athlete as well. So maybe like some of you here, do you know triathletes in Chinese? Or no, I mean in Mandarin, or do you know? What sports is it? Triathletes. 是铁人三项 Tri, it means in English, three, okay? Three sports together. So it's 铁人三项。你们这个铁人三项是什么项目啊？哪三个项目
？Swim, run, and biking.
是，他们的次序是什么？哪个 order 的
？First swim, then biking and run.
Good. Okay, so shall we leave the chances for the others? Okay, so in the later slide I will introduce a bit more of myself. So I've been to the Olympics and the Asian Games, China National Games and the Asian Beach Games, and before I I work in the Hong Kong Sports Institute. I was a lecturer at the Chinese University of Hong Kong. That's why I taught Dr. Choi before. So thank you. So and now I'm the AD, the Associate Director of the Elite Training Science and Technology in Hong Kong Sports Institute. So here, basically, is my career and timelines. So in year 1999, I graduated, and then I qualified for the Athens Olympic Games in 2004. Okay, and then I won a silver in the Doha Asian Games. 2006, probably you may not. Are you still children or? Okay. Not yet. Okay. Anyway, so after the Asian Games, so I also competed in the Beijing Olympics, and then in the Asian Beach Games. This is the first in 2008 in Bali, Indonesia, which was the first Asian Beach Games, and I won a gold in the triathlon. And then in the national game in Weihai in 2009, Weihai, Shandong Weihai, 是，I won a bronze in the national games, and then the next 2010 Asian Beach Games and Guangzhou Asian Games. So this year, in fact, is another Asian Games, right? 2026. Okay. So and after that, I have a chance to get into the Chinese University of Hong Kong as a lecturer, and then in 2000 I taught in CUHK from 2012 to 2019 as a lecturer, and so I'm lucky enough to meet Dr. Choi, right? And during my teaching time in CU, I studied PhD. So it's very grateful and for me to learn from my supervisor, Professor Stephen Wong. I think Professor Wong also been to University of Macau, right? Last year. Okay. So was he also sharing in the same hall?
Yes.
Okay. So Professor Wong, okay, from the CHK. So that and then after 2019, I have a chance to get into the Hong Kong Sports Institute, and then because in the SI now I'm the Associate Director for Elite Training Science and Technology. So basically, it's managing the sports science support to our athletes. So which is more an administrative role. So that in 2022, so I decided to pursue another EMBA, the Executive MBA, so that in order to strengthen my knowledge, and also much more importantly is also the connection with different fields, so that now I have a different perspective, and also to work with different companies and also different leaders, so we can support each other. So this is so now it's 2026. I mean, we still have quite a lot to do and to learn, and I'm going to share with you what we are doing and what we plan to do in the future for our elite athletes. Okay, so this is my background. So any question? No. Okay, so about the foundation. So what exactly Hong Kong Sports Institute is doing for our elite athletes in Hong Kong? Anyone been to Hong Kong SI? Have you been there? Training?
Yes, training and racing.
Oh, okay. When was that?
Last year.
Oh, last year. Oh, so you are still swimming now, or?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
good.
doing SI in 2 weeks.
Oh, you will be in SI in 2 weeks.
Yeah, another week.
Oh yeah, they have another time trial race, right? Oh, okay, so you will be there. Okay, I see. Yeah, because that competition or that event we will have Chiffon will be there, I know, and they will also time trial for the Asian Games, right? Okay, good. Probably I will see you there. Okay, anyway, Hong Kong Sports Institute. So it is a government's executive arm. So what it means? It means that we are funded by the Hong Kong government in order to nurture, to train, and to identify the athletes in Hong Kong. So I'm going to share with you more. So one of the important role of Hong Kong Sports Institute that we have to work very closely with SFNOC, the Sports Federation of Olympic Committee, Hong Kong, and also because when we representing Hong Kong for the Asian Games, Olympics, so which is under the SFNOC. And we also work very closely with the NSA. NSA is the National Sports Association. I'm not sure the structure in Macau, but for example, swimming. So in Hong Kong, we have a Hong Kong China Swimming Association, and then for triathlon, we have a Triathlon Hong Kong, so which is like a triangle, so that Hong Kong SI, NSA, and also the SFOC in order to support our athletes and represent Hong Kong in the major games. Okay, so this is basically the structure, organization of Hong Kong SI. So in Hong Kong SI, we have a board, a group of professional expertise to guide the direction of the Hong Kong Sports Institute. And then we have a CE, and then we have 5 different divisions. So basically, I'm working here as the AD, Associate Director of the for the Sport Science, and I have my supervisor, my boss, and then we have to all report to the CE in order to ensure the operation in the SI every day. So other than sport science, we have sport medicine, which including nutrition, psychology, and sports medicine, like all the recovery, physio, the Chinese manual therapy, and so on. So we have also the corporate service, like every organization, the HR, facilities, maintenance, finance department, so on. We have also community relations and marketing, but yeah, if we have time, if you visit Hong Kong Sports Institute, I'm more than happy to share with you. But this evening, I will focus more on our sports science support. Okay, in SI, we emphasize 11 CFS, CSF. What are they? The critical success factors. So you can imagine, in this evening, you can imagine or to remember what, when you were an athlete or now you are an athlete. So what are you receiving supports and training? Are they also part of your training? And are you also receiving these supports? So we are here to share and to exchange. So in Hong Kong, we believe the critical success factors, we have 11. For example, we have to, of course, like the classmate, you have to exposure and competition internationally so that you can have more improvement and to expose and get for example, get the qualification, right, to the Asian Games, Olympics. And we also have the facilities. In SI, we have a swimming pool, track and field, we have a fencing hall. We have 2 fencing halls with 13 pits each, so that these are the facilities. And we have the athletes development pathways. So we will develop athletes, not only their training, but also we provide assistance and support to their studies and so on. And athletes lifestyle support system, so the athletes, they are staying in the hostel, some of them. So like in the school, in the Macau University, I believe you have hostel, right? Or you are staying in the hostel. So we have a warden, which is very similar to the university. Technological and e-innovation. This is part of my duty to help our athletes. And we have sports science and medicine department. We have talent ID. Any student know about talent ID? Talent ID, talent identification. I will go through it with you later, no worries. And we have a high performance coaching, like the administrative work and support to the athletes and the sports. Research and sports information. This is also part of my job duty. Okay, so this is based on the 11 critical success factors, CSF. So we have all this to go round and round in order to keep the best practice to our athletes. For example, we emphasize one thing is a multidisciplinary biopsychosocial support model. So what does it mean? it means everything. As an athlete, as a person, so you are not only go to school, right? You are not only training, but all the things all around the supports. Because bio is like physiology, psychology, or mental development, and also social. So as long as you are a student or an athlete, you still have your social life, right? These are what in Hong Kong Sports Institute we emphasize. And what is multidisciplinary? If you remember in the last slide, I mentioned that we have not only sports science, but we also have sport medicine support, right? Sports nutrition and so on. So these are all with different disciplines. So we are emphasize multidisciplinary support in order to help our athletes. So that, for example, if you are, do you know rowing? Cycling, rowing, cycling. So those, for example, karate, 空手道，他们是they are with a different weight category, right? So they are different. For example, they have 50 to 55 kg. They have another category 60 kg, whatever. So those athletes, so they are weight categorized. So they are more to work with our dietitian, the nutrition very closely, so that what they eat and so that they won't gain a lot of weight. Or do you know windsurfing? 风帆 windsurfing 风帆是吗？滑浪风帆是吗？就是在海上面有风吹的这个是，他们现在都是需要看不同体重的，他们体重比较重的现在是中腰，为什么？因为 because their sail now we call it the IQ foil. You can search on the internet IQ foil. So like the speedboat, we are traveling from Hong Kong to Macau, Macau to Hong Kong. The foil. So in fact, it's the boat or the sail. They are on top of the water. So that now, because if you have a heavier body weight, then you can go faster. Okay. So these are different sports that also work very closely with our different dietitian and so on. And also, of course, we will have a science-based athlete center support. Okay, so that everything is doing for the good of the athletes. So not only their training, but their studying and so on. So we are working around the athletes. And then we will, especially my colleagues, my staff, they are working very with different problems and concerns so that we develop a scientific support to our athletes. So in my division, again, we have scientific conditioning, like 这个体能训练 scientific conditioning, sports biomechanics and technology, 生物力學、生物力學，還有我們sports information and external affairs. I will introduce their functions and duties to you. Okay, so basically in Hong Kong Sports Institute, we have a very structured, integrated framework in order to help our athletes, and also all our supports are very personalized. Okay, specifically for you and for you athletes for your best of the training. So these are all the medalists from the Hong Kong SI, HKSI. We have a swimmer, we have a badminton player. In fact, he is also from STE, from the Chinese University of Hong Kong. He is a physical disabled athlete. Okay, and then we have the wheelchair athletes as well, cyclist, fencer. Okay, the second part will be longer, which is more about the details of what exactly the sports science we are serving and helping our athletes. Okay, first one, I'm going to introduce our Scientific Conditioning Center. So, any one of you also have your trainer, or when you were an athlete, are you training with any other than sport coach? 游泳的你们有游泳的教练吗？还有体能的教练吗？是，我们现在就是做这个体能的。 scientific condition. Okay? Okay, what we are doing. So we are, of course, have the strength program, we have the talent identification, and also we have the scientific assessment. Scientific assessment, which is what the students share with us, the real truth testing and also the step testings, for example. Okay, so the first one, can you remember how any one of you start your career, start you as an athlete? Can you remember? Because you were swimming with the local swimming club, or you were swimming with the local club, or you were just having fun in some courses, or what? Because in Hong Kong Sports Institute, so we have a group of colleagues who are specified in identifying different athletes, whether you are good for cycling event or whether you are good for athletics. So we have a group of staff in order to test or to assess the young athletes. They are called the talent identification team. Okay, so we will first of all we will for example measure the body height, body weight, body length of our athletes, and then to because these athletes, they will be grouped and to bring them to the Hong Kong SI, and then our team will help them to do these assessment, and then we will generate a report to the coaches. These coaches, for example, Daniel is a triathlon coach, so I have Dr. Choi and you all student. So I bring you to Hong Kong SI to do some assessment, and then through the assessment, so we will generate a report. So whether Dr. Choi or you is good for triathlon, of course they will have a specific testing assessment, so that we will therefore to provide this information to the coach or to the sports association, and therefore they can identify these athletes and then to invite them to our training system. I'm not sure in Macau you are the national team, right? So how can you start or to get into the teams? So this is what Hong Kong SI is doing. Okay? Probably similar, I don't know, to in China, maybe they have after you're swimming good in the competition, and then the coach or the team, the province team or the national team will invite you for further training, something like this. So this is what our team doing here. So in our team also will provide not only the testing, but also we will provide the coaches support to different NSA, the National Sports Association. So these are all the things that we will do in order to identify the potential athletes and to nurture them and for us to train. So these are all different testing I plan to share with you. For example, the sprint test. Okay, even though for swimmer they may conduct the sprint test, because the sprint test, in fact, which is for testing their maximum running speed, which in fact is referring to their power. Because for swimming, maybe they have also to on the starting block and to dive into water. So this also will reflect their explosive power or their lower body's power. Whether these athletes are, this is also one of the parameters that we will measure for them. So basically in SI, usually when we look for rugby athletes, cyclists or triathletes, or even swimmer, they may use the sprint test. So they will have different protocols and with different machines to capture the speed and also the time they complete this sprint test, so that they can generate a report. And the vertical jump test, I guess most of you have been experienced or conducted this test or training. So basically this is also to test your leg muscle power. So we have a jumping mat. So in order to measure the jump height, and therefore with these results, then we can inform our coaches what these athletes are, about their power and so on. And we have the reaction light. I'm not sure, some of the events, for example, fencing, so they are more likely to have the reaction time, because these machines or systems can detect the reaction time of the athletes. So because I remember for fencing, they also require us to conduct this testing for the athletes or for the training, so that the fencer, they may use their weapons and to train with different lights, so that this is not only for reaction time but also for the sports training as well. So we will have different systems to record the reaction time and also the number of hits. So fencing, tennis, more likely the ball games, and also require the sports that require the hand-eye coordinations, right? So with tennis, table tennis, and wushu, I know some of the friends in the Macau wushu team, so I know Macau also have the wushu team. You know wushu, right? Wushu.
Martial art.
Martial arts, yes. 武士。英文是这个巫师，他们说。So anyway, so these are different testing method we will use in order to identify the athletes for our training. Okay, so I think Macau also in the national game, right, last year. So last year Macau, you remember any competition discipline was in Macau for the national games? 乒乓球。香港我们都有运动员啊，当然，但是this athlete is our cyclist. So she won 4 gold in the national games. So she won a road cycling, a track cycling, 2 events in the track cycling. Yeah. So anyway, she is now one of the best athletes, or she won the most gold in the national game. So why this picture here? Because she is also one of our athletes that identified from our TID program. So this is why I put her here. And this is her coach from France. So he is now our head coach for cycling. Okay, so this is our fitness training center, gym room, okay, basically. So we have 2 fitness training center in Hong Kong Sports Institute. So one of this one is on the ground floor, and this one is on the second floor. So we have this basically, this is like a gym room. So we develop S&C, the strength and conditioning training plans. What we have 20 S&C coach. So they are serving about 700 athletes in different teams. So they are responsible for doing the training plans in the S&C, and for example, athletics, track and field athletes, okay? So he or she will have his or her sport coach, the running coach, but at the same time, my colleagues, my staff, they are responsible to work on the S&C program for them, so that you can imagine our coach will work very closely with the sports coach in order to develop an effective and customized S&C program for them. And also the coach, and also they are responsible to do the testing, because we don't know what's Dr. Choi's level when he came into this room. So that before we start the training program, so we have to provide the assessment, like the VO2 testing or the different testing. I will also share with you in the coming slides. So in order to know what Dr. Choi's level, I think he looks very fit. And then we can plan about his training. At the same time, we also have to know his the competition plan. For example, this year he will do Asian Games, and then in 2028 he may target at the Olympics area, right? So that we will plan his S&C program accordingly. Okay, so rugby is one of our elite sports, TA sports. So this is rugby athletes. What this slide I want to share with you. Anyone knows about velocity-based training? VBT, we call it VBT. Okay, velocity-based training. So basically, the training is not only prescribed by weights, but we prescribe the training by the speed. Okay, so this is one of the slides. This is one of the clips that I can share with you. This is our rugby athletes. So this is our old fitness training center. So I would like you to see his bar is connected with a string. Okay, this string in fact is a VBT system, so that the coaches can identify the speed of these athletes lifting the weights. So because from this graph you can see if the force is bigger, but then you are only with the velocity will be low. But if you can, of course, if you are very strong, so you can lift the weight, lift the force, and then with a higher speed. Okay. So basically, we know that from the research, if you map the speed of lifting the weights, which is more or higher than 1.3 meter per second, so it means that it's more for the strength training. And the speed training, if you would like to train on your speed, so that at least you have to have 1 to 1.3 meter per second of your weights, of you lifting the weights. So you can imagine you just have to, if you would like to train your power, then you have to work quickly, okay, with your weights. So these are this is one of the very popular and also effective way for the S&C prescription. So karate, rugby, athletics, they will also use these types of training, and we use this to monitor and to prescribe the program for our athletes. So essential training, so we have also the 5-wheel training. Okay, so these two are our Olympian. What we are using the 5-wheel training. 5-wheel training. Anyone know about the K-box? K-box basically is like a metal plate here, and the athletes, they will wear the equipment that holding and to connect their body with this weight. So you can imagine like a flywheel is turning with the weight. So she is like doing the squat exercise. So when she lifts the body, so it's connected to the weight, to the flywheel, and it will turn and turn, so you can imagine. And then when she goes to the highest position, and when she coming down again, so this flywheel, because of the inertia, so that she can feel the forces pulling her down, but she has to keep slowly going down. So this is like an essential training, okay. So this training, why is important? Because it is a closed kinetic chain. So both of their feet are on this machine, and which is more used for the rehabilitation. Because when our athletes, this athlete, she experienced her ACL injury, 这个车头的受伤，所以呢，she has to do this exercise in order for her to recover quicker and to build up her strength. So these are one of the best training modalities for rehabilitation and also for the essential training. So our badminton player, fencer, rugby athletes and athletics, so they use this machine very often. So this is also one of the latest training method we used it with our athletes. So this is called a knock board. Knock board basically is the hamstring eccentric testing. So these athletes, our coaches will use it for their hamstring to testify their strength. Okay, because for athletic especially, so some of the athletes, if they're only trained on their quadricep, and then their hamstring is not strong enough, so usually they may get injured. Okay, so this is also one of the very effective machine that we are using in order to monitor the hamstring strength and to minimize any injury risk. So this machine, you can see that with the different lines showing the left and right leg, and then the left and right hamstring strength. So these are the this is the not board machine we will use. I think this is, this is the tape. Anyway, this may be not in the best resolution. So you can imagine you going with the things holding your ankle, so the Fs will go down gradually, and then in the end, if he or she cannot hold, so that is the moment and the strength that we are recording. Okay, the next one is the counter movement jump. So I think isometric mid-thigh pull. This is one of the force plate. So the athlete is standing on the force plate, and so that our coaches will record what is the strength, isometric strength. So like you don't move, but you exert some force. Okay. So this is also we have to gather the information for our athletes, so that our coaches will know their peak power. For example, the DSI. Okay. This is the dynamic strength index. So we can see if from this figure, so if it is smaller than 0.6, so it means that we have the athletes may need more power training. So we can prescribe more jumping, testing, and so on. But if the DSI is already bigger than 0.8, so it means that they need more strength. Okay, so they may need more pushing or pulling of the weights instead of the power training. So this is also one of the figures, index, that we will keep monitoring in order to prescribe customized program for our athletes. Okay, so this one look very familiar, right? This is the wheel 2 testing. We will do it with the cycling, okay, and also with running. So this is basically the aerobic threshold restriction or incremental testing. And the next one is the maximal aerobic test, wheel 2 test, okay? So in SI, we will do it for our wheelchair athletes as well. So this is, in fact, we call it the high-speed treadmill. So is anyone know about high-speed treadmill? For the athletes, not sure you experienced this before.
Yes.
There.
I did it in this machine, on this machine. 10 years ago.
And in SI? Why? Oh, okay. So anyone know about I mentioned about the high-speed treadmill. How high speed can you imagine? Or do you know? Dr. Chua in here.
Very fast.
Very fast, how fast?
I forgot.
Did you reach the highest speed at that time? You did on the running or with the cycling? Running, oh, okay. I guess running probably not able to reach the maximum speed of this treadmill. Okay, because the treadmill in the gym room, usually the high speed is about 25 km per hour. 25. For this high speed treadmill, which can go up to 80, okay, in 2 seconds. From 0 to 80, 2 seconds. So you can imagine, wow, really quick and powerful. So because this machine, also our cyclists will also ride on this machine, and this computer we can computing different courses. Okay, because for example, we know that Daniel as a triathlete, so he will go to a competition in Macau, and Macau in Haksawa, okay, lots of hills, right? So that we can compute the program with this treadmill, going up, going down, and so that with the speed, so that you can imagine which will be very similar for the race simulation and preparation for the different competition. Okay? So this is also one of the machines we will use in SI, and for some of the disabled athletes. In fact, this is not a disabled athlete, this is our staff. But just demonstrating the arm ergometers, okay? Because for the wheelchair athletes, they may not able to run or cycle, so that we will also use arm ergometer for the power athletes testing. Okay, so this is the cyclist on the high-speed treadmill. Okay, but in this slide, I would like to share with you an environmental chamber. Any one of you experienced or used the environmental chamber before? 環境艙. So this is basically we can adjust the temperature and also the humidity and also the altitude, the level of oxygen in the chamber. So for example, now what we are breathing, do you know the oxygen percentage content? For normal air, it's about 20%, okay? What we are breathing in now is about 20% of the oxygen. But for this room, we can set and tune, adjust the contents, the oxygen content to 14, 13, which is equal to about 2,500, 3,000 meters. So that they are having the like an altitude training, 高原訓練, right? Okay, so these are the environmental chamber we are using in SI for different training. I will also give some more updates environmental chambers training with you. Okay, so this is one of our athletes, sprinter, maybe Dr. Choi, I guess, not sure. So they are doing the sprint training. Okay, so they have to wear a safety harness, 安全帶, safety harness, because some touch wood if they are running not fast enough or they stop suddenly, so the safety will be ensured. Okay, so this is what the high-speed treadmill is working for our athletes. So for triathletes, athletics, cycling, and para-athletes, they will use this high-speed treadmill. Okay, anyone know about this one? Hyperbaric hyperoxic treadmill. So in the environmental chamber, we can adjust the oxygen level to lower level. But in this chamber, we adjust the oxygen to a higher level, to about 33% up to. Okay? So they are for the recovery for our athletes. For example, when I was an athlete, I used this chamber very much. So for example, I had a very tired session, very high intensity session. For example, after the interval training, okay? So I will rest inside. So for 1 hour to 90 minutes, 60 to 90 minutes. But one of the things which is condition to use this chamber, the mobile phone is not allowed inside because with the high oxygen level, so that for the safety, sometimes some of the mobile phone, they may have a risk to have the spark, so the fire. So the iPhone or any phone is not allowed in this chamber. So basically, I found it's very useful, very effective, because we definitely will have a sleep or rest inside without our phone. Okay, so with the recovery, the effect is very good. That's why I think one of the major thing. Okay, so this is the altitude room. In SI, we have 2 altitude rooms in the hostel, so that our athletes we have 4 beds, 2 beds in each room, so they can also adjust the oxygen level. And when I was an athlete, I used a lot of the altitude room. For example, for swimming, so most of the swimmer, they may go to Kunming, right, in China, to training, I'm not sure, and also the cycling, so that, so when I came down from the altitude training, usually in order to extend the altitude effects, so our athletes will stay in the altitude room. Excuse me. So this is one of the normal practice or very useful practice for our athletes in order to maintain the altitude effects. Okay? So this is our staff. They go to different training sites in China. So this one is Yokai Yuqi, something in the China, UC. In China, UC. So you may search on the internet. They have a rowing center over there. So our staff go with them to provide on-field support, not only in China but to go to everywhere. For example, in competition, so that we provide the physiological testing, and also our coaches will also doing different scientific conditioning or recovery session, we also here, this is one of the photo of a very localized or man-made contrast bath. Not sure you know contrast bath with hot and cold, so you will go alternatively in order to enhance your recovery. Okay, so this is more recent photos for heat training. Heat training. Why we do heat training? Because heat, which from the research, heat is also one of the stimulation or pressure to your body, so that your body will experience different stimulants, so that your body will be under pressure and then to do the training. So this is, from this photo, this is in fact is our new environmental chamber, our rugby team training inside. So our rugby team, they won a gold medals in the national game last year.
Wow.
Yeah. Before that, they beat Shandong. Shandong is in fact a very strong team. I watched that event. Did you watch it? The final.
I don't think so. I didn't.
Okay. Anyway, rugby 7 is one of our TAA sports. So rugby 7, if you know the games, Donna Choi knows because he was the rugby player. So if you know the game is going very fast, right? And the athletes, they are all have to be very fit, physically fit and mentally fit. So these athletes, they train in the heat altitude, heat environment in order to enhance their strength and power. So that they are. So before that, we did one very successful cycle and training, so that they all performed very well in the national games. Because this environmental chamber provide the heat training. So for heat training, I have a slide later to introduce about it. So for this kind of training, they usually not only to acclimatization. So this is all that you get used to the heat. Okay, because they usually compete sometimes overseas, so they also have to get used to the heat environment. Okay, so what here we have talked about heat training. Heat training, in fact, recently, or in fact, not for the past 10-15 years. So lots of training, research on the heat. So because they believe with the heat, our heart, okay, we will also adapt to the training better, and with a lower heart rate, and for the blood we have different parameters. So these are all the things that we know heat training is very effective in order to enhance the athlete's performance. So this is different type of heat training. Heat training in SI, we not only training in the chamber, but we also, for example, triathletes, previously, after their training, we also put them in the hot bath, like sauna, okay? 40 degrees Celsius of the water, so they experience very hot. So this is also one of the heat training that we are doing for our athletes and teams. So here also they mention about the degree, the temperature. For example, self-paced exercise, outdoor heat training, we will, the athletes is required to train from 35 to 40 degrees and in the humidity. And for example, what I just mentioned, the passive heating. For example, after you swimming, if you would like to have a heat training effects, we may mix the athletes to immerse in 40 degrees sauna, okay, water, and so that his or her body will get used to the heat. So this is also type of a heat training. For the heat training, usually it will take about 1 week to within 3 weeks in order for the athletes to get used to the temperature and also to have the effects. So these are the basic principles for the heat training. Okay, so sports science. We not only prescribe the program to the athletes, but we have to monitor their responses, right? So for the heat training, we will use the temperature pills, okay? Or this typical traditional thermometer. Do you know what is this one? Personally, I tried both, okay? Temperature pills, so you can see it's not a very big pill like for the medicine. So inside the pills, they have different electronics. In order to, they have also a sensor, and then so for our staff, if for example Daniel intake the pills, usually it will stay in my body 1 to 2 days. Okay, so when I exercise, so our colleagues can have a machine to measure his or her body temperature. Okay, this is the functions of the this pill, thermometer pills. Okay, and previously in SPE I was a subject, a participant for a thermometer, the heat training research. So back in SPE, Professor Wong had this thermometer. So basically, this is a thermometer to measure your core temperature, the rectal temperature. Okay, it put in your body. Okay, and then you will exercise, and then your core temperature will be detected real time. Okay, so this is the research that previously I participated. But now in SI, in the Hong Kong sports industry, we are very good to the athletes. We all provide these temperature pills in order to measure their core temperature during the exercise. So, but one of the drawbacks of these temperature pills, do you know what? One of the bad things or the disadvantages. Electronics in your body. Huh? 消化. Oh. Anyway, these pills will get rid. You will get rid of this pill in after 2, 3, or 4 days because you will go to the toilet and then it will be in the toilet anyway. But the most bad thing about it is money, expensive. One pill is about 500 Hong Kong dollars. Okay, and you imagine for 1 or 2 days training, and then after that it will goes out. And especially for some of our athletes, maybe because it still may have error. Okay, some of the athletes have the pills, maybe in his or her body 1 to 2 days, 3 days, but some of the athletes they may go out directly. Okay, or even inside your body, but sometimes they may not detect the temperature very accurately. Okay, so this is some of the drawbacks of these temperature pills. But basically, this is what we do in order to monitor our athletes effectively during the heat training. So for our triathlon team, for our rugby team, we have different programs developed for our athletes. And even for the squash athletes, because the squash, I noticed that they have a squash court in your university. They are very well with the aircon. But in Malaysia, in America, those squash courts without air conditioning, so they are very warm and very hot in fact. So heat training. In fact is produce multiple systems like our heart, our blood, our sweating system, circulation, adopting, improving the endurance performance. And it requires 10 to 14 days in order for the heat training to be effective. And the benefits will persist for 1 to 3 weeks. So individual monitoring is very essential with the temperature pills or with the traditional thermometers, so which is a scientifically validated tool for performance optimization. Okay? So after a heat training, in SI we also emphasize about the injury prevention. Any of you athletes been injured? 受傷有沒有？我都有。I have 2 major injuries before on my shin because of the running. Okay, I have one stress fracture before. Anyway, so therefore, injury prevention is also one of our major tasks because I'm sure you athletes all know if you are injured or you are sick, then you cannot train or you cannot compete. Okay, so injury prevention is very important. So what we are doing, we are doing the data-driven profile using the field and lab testing to know what our athletes and also what the sports specifically need. So we will design some program like a strength program, or I will further explain. And then identifying the risk. Okay, so for example, for the athletics, we know that hamstring is really easy or common injuries for the athletes running sprinter. So that we will have different programs to strengthen the hamstring, for example, the knockboard testing and so on. And implementing targeted training interventions. So, any one of you play badminton player here? Or fencer? So, did you experience any injury before? 有没有受伤？有没有？没有。没有哦，很厉害了。天才运动员是吗 ？Okay, why I mentioned about fencing 击剑，就是因为 because 因为击剑就是很多的时候都是一边的动作嘛，是吗？
因为我是上大学之后转向练的，所以没有那么狠。
哦，没有那么狠，就是懂得保护自己嘛，很好。Okay, because some of the sports or even swimming, most of the swimmer, what injuries will they have? Shoulder injury. Yeah, so what we need, you have the elastic band, so you can do this, right? In order to protect your shoulder or better develop your muscles. Okay, so at different sports will have different specific injuries, or so we will target different sports and to implement different training program or intervention in order to prevent these injuries. So also, finally, we also enhancing performance through data-driven training monitoring. So we will continuously monitor the training for our athletes. Okay, so we have flexibility, mobility, monitoring and training, posture. Okay, so you are now all sitting. Okay, but I can also see whether your neck, your shoulder, whether you are, yeah, good, sitting more upright. After all our mobile phone and screen time, so we have to be careful. And also with the strength, so we will also incorporate it in our S&C program. And neural control, also very important. So, especially for the ball games like the badminton, table tennis. So, not sure, any table tennis player here? Do you know what table tennis usually will get injured from, the table tennis player? Table tennis, okay, they're playing like this, right? I heard that one of the common injuries from the table tennis player is their core muscle, because they have to turn 1,000 times, 10,000 times, and also it's very energy consumption is a lot, so that their muscle injuries usually, and also from their ankle or their knees, because they have to move very quickly sideways, and so they will also get these overuse injuries. So this is also some of the neural control, which you have to be very quickly moving in order to support you to hit the ball or to do these different tactics. Okay, so we have tailored the program to a swimmer, for example, the hamstring flexibility, the shoulder mobility for swimming, right? And for table tennis, the groin strength, groin is our waist area, okay? So that because they do lots of turning the torso, so which is related to their groin strength. Single leg exercise, balance, core stability for table tennis. For badminton, so there is lots of jumping, okay? That is easy understanding. Running, groin strength, hamstring. And for windsurfing, this is windsurfing, okay? Windsurfing, their core stability is also very important, okay? Hamstring and shoulder mobility. So these are our table tennis players. They are famous table tennis players in Hong Kong. Zhang Ping, Do Wai Kang, okay? They are the mixed team playing. And this also another mixed team badminton playing for Hong Kong. Chiffon, okay? Swimmer, sure you know. Okay, so for the flexibility and mobility, so what we are doing for our athletes, we will measure their flexibility regularly, and also we will do some dynamic warm-up. You know dynamic warm-up, right? So for competition, before, usually we won't do stretching static stretching. We will do more exercise, right? Which is dynamic stretching with different exercise, mobility, your shoulders, and so this is some of the exercise we will emphasize and teach and train our athletes. And this is different testing. We use very simple, but we will do it for our athletes. This one is measuring their calf and ankle flexibility. Okay, so it's a very easy testing, but it tells us the data. And this is for the shoulder rotation and the flexibility, your shoulders to the back. So this is also some of the easy testing we will do regularly for our athletes. So posture, this is, of course, you can see is a treadmill testing, but what in this picture we want to emphasize is their posture. So in fact, this girl is our windsurfing athlete, but we look at her posture during the running, whether it is appropriate and safe and also good for her. Okay, so this is our fitness training center. We will regularly with our badminton player doing the different powerful testing. In order, this is the force platform we used, so that when she jumps, so we know what's the time and also the power generated from her, in order for us to see whether her muscle or her neural control is appropriate and fit for the training. So this is also what we will monitor our athletes. So this is different testing. This is our rugby player, so that the coaches, they will measure their hamstring and the core strength. So basically they are holder in a bench, and then we time it to see whether how is their core strength. Okay. And with this one, this is our machine to measure the groin strength. Okay, here, so they have the sensor. So our athletes is asked to move in this position. So they are asked to move the knee outside or inward, okay, in order to test the groin strength. So this, what I mentioned before, is very important for the sideways movement and the core movement, the body rotation. So this is what we will measure. And this is some of the training, the plank on the bench to see what's the condition. So this is a very traditional Biodex machine. So it's the isokinetic machine. So all the exercise, the speed is controlled so that we can see the strength and also both extension and contraction. So we can see the muscle. This is our race walking athletes. So this picture, you've seen it before, and this is also training with the knockboard. So we can, the athletes not only testing on this machine, but also to do training, so that they can contract and train on their back, their hamstring. So this is some of the neural control testing, like a Y test. Okay, so basically you can slide through. This is a meter. Okay, so the athletes will ask to keep their left foot here, and then the right foot they will try to ask him or her to step forward as much as they can. So in order to check their balance and also see how they are stable in order to reach out the furthest. And then same, so they will do on the side to the back in order to measure their flexibility, at the same time their control. So this is, and especially for our wushu athletes, martial arts athletes, they have to be very well monitored, and their strength also will be very important for them. So this is the force platform we used. And so from a counter movement jump, we can see that the athlete's condition in their strength and also the power. So this is the EUR. EUR in fact is the eccentric utilization ratio. So from the counter movement jump and the squat jump, so we can see what's the power, and then to see which training they need. So if they have a counter movement jump, it means that you will squat down and then to jump. And this squat jump, basically you just jump, okay? So this is a two different jump type, and then with this razor, we can see if it is smaller than one, so that the shortenings, so your muscle recruitment may not be that good, so that we can enhance the training in this area. Okay, so for the injury prevention, which is one of our major tasks that we work on for our athletes, so we will implement this idea and program in the warm-up and also in the S&C program. So for example, for the badminton team, so we will work with them in order to provide the dynamic warm-ups, and also this is during the national games. Our colleagues, our coach, they will have different types of dynamic warm-up with them. I'm sure for swimming, they have also lots of warm-up on the pool side, right? With the elastic band, and also with the shoulder, which is very important in order to wake up your muscle, or to wake up your neural control. Okay, so this is also another training and monitoring we usually do with the balance board, wobble board, and with the Bulgarian single leg squat. So these are all different exercises that we will work on for our athlete's ankle, the badminton team, and for their torso, and with their side movement of our athletes. So this is all because of the badminton. So we design all these different program. So here, basically, we would like to let you know that the program is customized in order for our athletes and teams. So basically, part 2, which is the longest part, okay, we finished now. And in SI, we ensure all our athletes have athlete-centered training based on their sports need and with the latest scientific research into their training. So this is our rugby team, okay? Okay, so in the third part, which is about mechanical science. So this part is maybe will involve more technology. Okay, so the biomechanics team, we have biomechanics and technology. What they mean? Okay, so this is the swimming pool in Hong Kong Sports Institute. So that swimmer will go to this pool again in this or 2 weeks later. So in the we have an underwater camera, and then we also have a diving block with our force platform. So basically, our swimmer dive in, so we know the force exerted on the diving block, and then the time after they get into water, and then the time they come up to the water and start swimming. So these are the things that we will do for our athletes. But I can tell you, this system, in fact, is not very much used by our athletes now, because we are developing different systems with the video, so which will be more easy or user-friendly for the athletes. So you will swim in this pool in 2 weeks, right? Same pool. Anyway, this is also another video analysis we do it for our gymnasts. So for the WOT event, Tilma, so we will do different measuring for our athletes, because for this sports or for this discipline, so the highest the athletes can jump, so which will give him more time to finish his exercise or his action, right? So we have to inform the athletes what is the approaching speed, and also what speed is optimized, the jumping height, and also the contact time here and the angles. So these are the variables that we will measure and send to and share with our coach and athletes. So this is our karate athletes. So we have all these camera, Wycon. Anyone know about the Wycon system? So Wycon system, like we have all the cameras set up. In SI we have 16 Wycon cameras. So like this is our karate athletes. The coaches want to know how quick they kick, and also the angle of their body and their legs, so that we can do all this with these shiny bubbles, and then to measure the speed and also so on. But again, this is not the latest system. We developed also the video capture. We will now developing the system that through the camera, and then the athletes don't need to put on anything, and then we can also do similar things. So for karate, because they have the team events, so kata, like the wushu, they play the actions, and so for the coaches, they want to see in different angles of our athletes. So we have also synchronized different cameras in order to provide this real-time synchronized view for our athletes and the coaches, so they know in all 4 angles what the athletes look like. Are they doing the same movement? So this is also the criteria for the karate sports. Okay, for cycling in the velodrome. So one of them is Hong Kong athletes, and they have the force, the cadence, the power, the speed during this video, so that our coaches will know what exactly the athletes is performing in the competition. And because of these power meters here, so that we can have the result or the parameters, the monitoring real time. This is the red one is our Hong Kong athletes, the AYC, okay? So that we can know that, because we help our athletes and coaches to collect this sport-specific information. So this is our wheelchair badminton player. This is in fact is our self-developed system. Okay, because for the badminton player, the coaches would like to know how many balls they hit, and also what is the heart rate, and therefore the coaches would like to know the workload in this training session, so they can prescribe different programs. So this team, the technology and biomechanics team, they develop also this system to different sports. Okay, so this is windsurfing. The background is in Stanley. Okay, because for windsurfing it is not easy to monitor their training and their performance. So because in the water, so we now developed this system which have a camera built on the sail, and then this data, the heart rate, the technique, the motion data, and also the speed. So these are all will send real time directly to our coaches. The coaches will be on a boat or on the shore. So this data, and then we have a sensor to send to the cloud, and then the coaches can get the information from the cloud. So you can imagine this data will go from the sail, from the sea, and then up to the cloud, and then down to our coaches' tablets. So these similar techniques, system we also use with cycling, swimming, and so on. Okay, basically for the technologies, mechanical science, we ensure the technological and electronics innovation being incorporated into training and competition in order to optimize the performance. For example, through the strategies or tactics analysis or the skill analysis. Okay, basically it's these 2 areas, the skills and tactics analysis. Okay, so what is the last things that I would like to share with you this evening is the intelligence and fuel for the future. So what we're doing with the sports information and the SRFS. What is SRFS? I will tell you in a second. Okay, so in SI we have a sports library information. Okay, so what is this about? Because now with the technology, with the AI, how can we incorporate the AI technology in our training? So first thing what we need from our training. I'm going to give out some more souvenir for the new coming student. Anything you can remember or you can imagine in order to apply the AI or data analytics into our elite training, what we need at the beginning first. Money is not more important than money. What we need, what are you doing now? I mean, when you're using your iPhone?
Data.
Data.
The raw data, I'm not sure.
Good. Anything you want from here. The files. Okay. Data, of course. Data is one of the most important things we use, okay? Because firstly, we have to have the data. The training data, your treatment data, your VO2 test data. So all this data will be in SI now. We have a database to store all the data. Because we have to have data in order to generate reports and generate different training monitoring reports to our coaches and athletes. So we have ADAMS, Athletes Data Management System, in order to manage all the athletes' data, and then we will use different reports to our coaches. So Dr. Choi, he trains, he runs, so we collected his heart rate, his feelings, the RPE, the rate per exertion, and also the speed, the distance, for example, so that we can generate a report, the training effects to the coaches and athletes. So these are one of the reports that we generated. For example, this is Daniel, okay? Daniel's competition, recently I went to 2 competitions, and this is from our sport medicine, whether Daniel is still available to train because he has any injury, so we are all input the data of his these athletes. And for the S&C training, how many sessions Daniel has, how many weights he pushed, or what exercise he did. So we also did a lot of, we all keep a record and have this data. And also from our dietitian, sport nutrition, what is the weight of an athlete, his body weight, his BMI, his body fat, any food he intake, for example. So these are all useful data for the athletes and for the coaches to know. And then these are the data we collected in the past 2 years. So we have we'll all centralize for our athletes and for our coaches. So this is also some of different data we collected. For example, before the Asian Games, we would like to know, for example, the major competitors for our athletes. For example, for swimmer, okay, we will see our swimmers' world ranking, and then we will also see the others like the Chinese swimmer or Macau swimmer, what is their world ranking and their result. And therefore, we can formulate different training programs or strategies for our athletes. So this is all the things that we will prepare and do for our athletes. And in SI, my division also will do prepare and also conduct different seminars. For example, last March 14, 2 weeks ago, we had a sports and exercise medicine summit. So we work with the clinic in Hong Kong, the Academy of Medicine. So we train their doctor, and we our coaches share the experience. So this is also some of the conference we do. And the ISSB, last December 2025, we have invited over 700 sports psychologists all around the world and come to Hong Kong, and we do this in the CU in Jiangyu. Okay, so this is our sports library. Okay, if you have an iPhone or tablets, you can scan here, so you can reach our Hong Kong Sports Industry website. You can see our latest research highlights, so you can see what we publish from our training and data. Okay, lastly, what we do, we have another SRFS. What is that? Sports Science Research Fund. So after Tokyo Olympics, Hong Kong government and also the Hong Kong Jockey Club, Choi Ma Wu, they injected together 300 million, 3 億 for our research and sports science research and support. So basically, you can also scan this QR code, and then it will go to our website about the what science and research funding. So basically, from this funding, we developed our different training system, monitoring system. So this is a smart canteen. Why we call it smart? in fact. So our athletes in the SI, when they go to the canteen, they food, and then we will have a camera so they can identify this is Daniel. And then when I pick up the food, and so the content, the nutrition content and the amount of food, which will be monitored directly and sent to our dietitian. So that basically our dietitian will know straightly what Daniel had in the canteen. And so to plan for his dietitian plan. And this is our robotic arms in our gym room. So which will be focused on the essential training, and so for very customized S&C program can be subscribed to our athletes, for example. So the sports science and research, I would like to highlight what is the purpose of the equipment software application. Not only to collect data, but more importantly is the real-time feedback, and therefore we can provide a scientific program and also adjust the training program if needed. And later, when we have the data, we can apply the AI and data analytics to our training program and for our athletes. So, and also at the same time, user-friendly is very important. So we won't use the old system anymore. We will use try the video capture, etc., in order to help our athletes with the scientific way to their training. So we have 31 projects ongoing or finished, and these are the sports, the programs, the project that we are supporting. Table tennis, squash, swimming, for example. And for para sport, we also have different projects to support them. So this machine, we call it a coolware device. So this is all the secrets that I'm sharing with you. So what is this? So it is jointly developed by Hong Kong Sports Institute and Polytechnic University of Hong Kong. So this is basically, any one of you experienced the compression, hot and cold compression kit. So basically, in the clinic, you may have this service or experience with this big machine, but we developed this small machine, like my bag, maybe a little bit bigger than my backpack, but then the team can bring this backpack to on-field, for example, put in this room, and then connected, they have the batteries connected, and then with the water, and then so that the athletes can experience, with these reps, for example, they can experience hot and cold with compression in order to enhance their recovery. Okay, so this is one of the recovery systems we developed for on-field use. For swimmers as well, they may, sometimes some of the swimmers, they may do a contrast bathing right next to the pool, right? But in order to facilitate our athletes' recovery, we also use this machine as well now. So from the project, we also developed what we call a robotic arms for training. So this is also can be customized with the weight, the lift, and also I mentioned the essential training. For example, physiologically, usually we can push maybe for 100 kilometers, 100 kilograms, for example. But then the essential training is when you going down, so you have to hold the weight, and usually we can bear heavier. So this machine can especially do this training, because you can imagine, I do 100K lifting, back squat, but how can I add weight when I doing the essential training? Traditional way, they add the weight, right? But which is a very not user-friendly way. So with this computer, we can input 100K for lifting, for concentric training, and then 120K for eccentric, for example. So this is also the machine we developed for this purpose and more effective S&C training. Okay, last but not the least. So this is the key takeaway for you. So for the advances of the sports science and medicine and technology training support for Hong Kong athletes. So basically we have a multidisciplinary approach, and we have a science-based athlete center because of the athletes, because of the sport. So we design all this training. And then with the research, we continuously monitor the effects, training effects, and also with the latest research. For example, the HIIT, the injury prevention training. So these are all the latest research that supports our training and the program. And last but not the least is more important, also very important, is sustainable and comprehensive support services into our daily support and operation. So basically, which has to be practical. We set this program to help our swimmer, help our fencer, our athletes, so ensure these programs are practical and user-friendly for our athletes. So, thank you very much. So this is all my sharing this evening. Apologies for a bit overtime, but yeah, because we start 5 minutes late. But anyway, thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Dr. Lee. Yeah. Any questions?
I can just say out loud, probably speaking. So thank you for your presentation. I'm one of your friends, that's why I'm here. And so I think there's so much that we can learn from you as a Macau. I think that is really advanced and so much that we actually have to learn from. But like something that you talk about the AI, I think I'm really more like interested in that area as well. So with the data that you mentioned, you have the record of it, but like how are you going to actually use it for different kind of sport? Do they have training programs, or how are you going to make use of the data? Apart from collecting only the data itself, but how you actually using it in helping in the way that you think can be improve the performance, or for which kind of team that can?
Okay, thank you very much for your question. So basically, it's a very good question because what I mentioned here. So okay, we have all the data now, and we have more and more data. So because of this data, so for example, one of the slides I shared. So I have the reports we generated. This one. So this is one of the reports that welcomed by most of the sport coaches because the coach usually would like to see what Daniels is doing or what Daniels is conditions like. So in this one-stop short report, so our coaches will know Daniels' condition, whether he is trainable, and also his latest workload for the gym session. So the data basically is, the data itself is no use, but what my staff and I doing now is to generate informative reports, information for our coaches with these data. So with the data, which is we can claim is a scientific support data because science is based on data, right? So the data, how can we use the data effectively? We use these different types of report. Okay, this is also some other reports for our S&C coach. So sorry, the word is too small, but if you can see that, so this is one of our team, so that for our S&C coach, then they will know how many exercises the back squat they did, and also how many deadlift, jump squat. So therefore, our coaches will know the history or the trend of our athletes they train, and also for different. For example, this is from our physio. The dashboard we customized for our physio. So here, our physio will know what is the injury rate for different sports, and what is the total injury from our athletes, and average injury duration. How long will it needs our athletes to recover? So this will help our physio and also our S&C coach to be more cautious and work on the injury prevention programs, for example, to our different teams, to different athletes. So the data itself, we have to manage it very well, and also to keep it clean, and also able for analysis, so that we can use this data to generate different reports. And in the next step, we will also use the data analytics or the AI to give us any projection. For example, we don't know now Daniel with this training, with this nutrition, so Daniel is now like this. But what we try, we input different data. For example, Daniel is training with different weights or with different intake of nutrition. Will it be come out with different results or with his performance? So this is what we call the digital twins. So that we can compare real Daniel and then with the intake different, so that we can testify whether this will be a good program for Daniel, for example. This is what we plan to do. Yeah. But at the very beginning, we have to have the data from Daniel or from other athletes in order to help them with this technology. I hope I can answer your question. Thank you.
I have a question. Like if our normal people, we want to enhance our sport ability. Like for example, for me, I want to join the high rocks competition in this year. So I want to enhance my strengths or my running ability like this. And I want to know if I want to use AI to help me to improve my ability, which how can I say that, INDEX, which 哪个指标 index I need to test or I need to improve in the AI. So I just have my phone and my computer to use.
Okay. So I think it's not a easy to answer in one way, because for example in Hydros, my understanding is they have lots of different exercises, right? So for example, ball throwing, and also you have to run every time after each exercise for 1K. So I think it involves a lot of components or elements that you have to train on. For example, specifically for Hydros, at least you have to train your running, right? You have to run, if you're doing on your own, you have to run 8K in total, 8 kilometers. So, and each time run 1 kilometers. So you basically have to train your running, and then for running, you have to collect your heart rate, your running speed, and even your running techniques, which will be able to enhance or improve your performance. So and so forth. For example, and then for the ball throwing, so you have to train on your squats and then your shoulder. So Hydros, I think, is a very overall and comprehensive exercise. So you may have to train on your whole body. And so for your whole body's training, so you have to measure or monitor regularly on different things. For example, what I mentioned about the EUR, the counter movement jump and the squat jump. So this can be also a monitor of your power. And so this is also one of the parameters that you can monitor regularly, and therefore to see whether you have to adjust your program. So if you train like that, you have to also, I'm not sure you have a personal coach, a strength and conditioning coach. So they can set different programs for you in order to enhance your shoulder strength, your core endurance, for example. So I think, you have quite different things to monitor, and then in order to enhance your performance. At the same time, because they have all different exercises. So if you have the techniques in this exercise, for example, the sledge pull, okay? So those are also that you can improve with different techniques in order to help you to get a better result. So I think, you have to work on different and a lot of exercise. Okay.
Any other questions?
Okay.
No, then we can take a group photo.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Shall we maybe sit down in the middle or in the front? I think maybe 2 or 3 rows.